Stephen O'Hara, book publisher for Mortons Books. New book publishing company, plan to publish 100 books in 2020. We've published 25 of those already. And what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about who Mortons Books are, kind of the key people involved, and then more specifically talk to you about the authors and the books that we're bringing to the market. First thing to say is please do make your way over to mortonsbooks.co.uk. Every order comes with free UK delivery, so please go over and have a look at the books that we've published already. As I say, 25 of those, but another 75 sort of coming very soon. So really be great if you had a look at what we do and obviously hopefully buy some books from us. So appreciate as part of that you need to know a little bit about the book. So what I want to do with these videos is do a video for each of the books, talk a little bit about how they were put together, talk about the people that have put them together, and then obviously hopefully talk a little bit about the book themselves, and at the end give you sort of the details to hopefully go and purchase, and then it would be great to get some feedback and some thoughts on the books that we're doing. And of course, any authors out there, please do get in touch, especially in the markets that we're operating. Really keen to sort of hear your ideas and see if there's a book to take to market for you. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about British Railways stinks. So I'll just bring the cover a little bit closer just so you can see it. So David Smith, the author, and 5 of his colleagues put the idea together. So they're all British railway chemists. So it's David Smith, Jeff Hunt, Ian McEwen, Ian Cotter, John Sheldon and Vince Morris. So basically all these guys worked for British Railway as chemists, and so it talks about that industry. It talks about all the sort of weird and wonderful things they were asked to test, and talks about some of the hilarious situations that they got involved with as part of that government department. So I'll just quickly read you the synopsis and then talk a little bit about the sort of team that have put this together, really. So just in terms of the synopsis, I'll just read it off the back. It's not very long, so just bear with me a second. So synopsis reads, the first railway chemical laboratory was opened in 1864 by the London and North Western Railway at Crewe, and the last ones lost their direct link to the rail industry on their privatisation in 1996. Whatever their expertise, every railway chemist, or stink as they were known, so that's where the name of the title comes from, have been asked the same question: what do you actually do? This is precisely the question this book attempts to answer. It covers many aspects of the work, so tales from BR chemist going to San Francisco to blow up a watermelon, to declaring an empty coal wagon a confined space, from whitewashing a passenger train in service in a couple of seconds, to questioning on chemical grounds the mental state of the chairman of British Rail. From gassing weevils to setting fire to a canal in Derby, British Railway Stinks tells the unusual, astonishing and sometimes downright hilarious story of the railway nuts who decided what exactly the wrong kind of leaves were. So hopefully that's a sort of a bit of an insight into what the book covers. I'll just quickly at this point just show you the price. So $14.99 in the UK and $22.99 in US dollars. The ISBN number, so really love you to come purchase it from mortonsbooks.co.uk with free delivery, but I appreciate some of you will have other accounts with other suppliers and prefer to buy from them. So on that basis, I'll just give you the ISBN number, which is 978 1911 658 269. So again, that'll be you'll be able to find that on Amazon or wherever else is that you purchase your books from. So talk a little bit about the team that put this together, really, and sort of the fantastic resources that we have that are able to put these products together. So Dave and his team our colleagues approached us to publish the book. So they knew us just from our sort of magazine side of the business, and talked to us about the concept, and we really loved the concept and thought actually it's never been told before. It's an industry I'm sure lots of our magazine customers would be interested in, and so we went down that journey of bringing that together. So Dave and his team pulled all their recollections together, all their various stories, and to give us an understanding of the industry and all the hilarious things that they got involved with over that period of time. On top of that, brought all of their sort of imagery together and sort of begged, borrowed and stealed images from all their other colleagues to sort of bring together. Then kind of a number of sort of factors kicked in really. So Dan Sharp, who sort of manages our production side, brought all that together, obviously read it all, went through the whole process with them to make sure that the product was correct. Then Kelvin, one of our sort of fantastic designers, designed the layouts of the pages, added all the text in there, and then obviously, we'll say obviously, but this book also has a sort of a 32-page colour plate section. So again, brought all of those elements together. Obviously, it was all checked to make sure that everything was correct. Got that off to our printers, and for this one we used a company called Gutenberg, who are based in Malta. Fantastic team there, really solid business, and helped us through the whole process. So made sure that we delivered the files in the correct format. They checked everything to make sure that everything would print correctly. Double checked all of the different elements, including the finish, what paper we wanted, where we wanted the colour section, where we wanted, how we wanted the cover, how we wanted the UV gloss on the cover. So I don't know if you can see from here, but there's some gloss UV within on some of the key sort of words on the front cover. So again, they sort of worked with us to decide where that would go, and then printed it, and pleased to say we've got the book back now, and obviously selling copies on mortonsbooks.co.uk. So let me talk to you a little bit about sort of the extent of the book, and kind of talk to you a little bit about the chapters, and then I'll kind of leave you to make your way over to Morton's Books to hopefully purchase one. So the book itself has 208 pages. So I'll just quickly show you that. So it's 208 pages of text, and then within the book itself there is a significant 32-page colour section, which I'm just going to show you there. So I'll just show you some of the pages within the colour section. So if I just bring that there like that. So again, some fantastic imagery and captions sort of encapsulating the industry and kind of the various things that they got up to and the various pieces of equipment that they were used. Again, I'll just show you another couple on here, and when you look at some of the technology, hopefully we've moved a little bit further on than some of the bits of kit that were being used here. And again, so just unbelievable sort of settings, really takes you back to the sort of 70s and 80s and sort of early 90s, which is where the kind of the main crux of the book is focused. Just quickly talk to you about the chapters now. So what the guys have done is they've got sort of 8 sort of main chapters where they've brought together the different stories and anecdotes and sort of industry detail, and brought them into one of those 8 chapters. I'll run through those in a second, and then they finish it off with chapter 9, which is sort of a bit of a miscellaneous bag, where if it couldn't fit into one of the above 8, they've just dropped it in there just to make sure that we didn't lose those stories and the anecdotes and the sort of hilarious situations that they got in. So the chapters are, first one, a very brief history of railway chemists, so giving real setting the scene of what it's all about and who the teams were. Then the area laboratory, so talking about obviously the laboratory and all the things that happen in there. Next chapter is the wrong type of, so if you're from Britain, and certainly I'm sure around the world as well, you'll have heard of the wrong type of leaves and the wrong type of snow stopping trains. So again, this is talking about these are the guys that decided that and sort of coined that phrase. The next one is helping the police with their inquiries. Obviously, lots of things have happened on railways, and so again, helping the police, and so again, lots of stories and sort of around that subject. Claims and complaints. So again, one that I can think just comes off the top of my head that from reading it was back in the day, various bits of liquids would come off the trains and sort of go onto parked cars, and obviously those people that own those cars would be trying to claim for resprays and all sorts. So that's kind of one bit from there. Occupational health and safety, fire technology, and then condition monitoring. So those are the chapters. As I say, 9th chapter is sort of a catch-all then for anything that doesn't fit into that. And then finally, a lovely little section on the authors. So it talks a little bit about who they are and kind of their history and kind of how they were involved, and really finishes off the book nicely. So, you know, very much a new subject. Don't think it's ever been covered before. I'm sure rail enthusiasts and chemists alike, anyone sort of interested in sort of nostalgia and British sort of industrial history would also be interested. So there's lots in there for everybody, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit, also laugh a little bit with some of the tales and stories that these guys got up to. You know, when you think of the sort of the 6 of them that were involved, there's sort of hundreds of years of experience that's been distilled down to this book. So please do get over to mortonsbooks.co.uk, free UK delivery. Purchase your copy, please. Subscribe to this channel. As I say, we've got 100 books planned, so this will be the first of the books I'm reviewing, and with the plan to sort of run through this process with each of them, and hopefully as I build up my experience of doing this, I'll learn a little bit and I'll get a bit slicker and a bit better at the process. And again, you know, happy to take any sort of advice and thoughts within the comments, but more importantly, I'd love you to read the book and feedback what you think about it. And again, as I say, any authors out there, please do get in touch if you've got a similar story or something else you'd like to get out there. And you know, myself and Dan, who sort of review these things, we'll come back to you and see if it's something we want to progress with. So hopefully I've taken up too much of your time. Hopefully you've enjoyed the conversation, or the sort of talk. Very much like to invite you to subscribe and hear more from me. Speak to you soon.